The other big story, it involves the river behind me. We're talking about restoring the rapids to the Grand. The push getting a lot of momentum today as the federal government announces they're behind an urban waterways program here. It was an official announcement. It came just hours ago at a press conference. Grand Rapids Mayor George Hartwell, flanked by members of the Environmental Protection Agency and local lawmakers. It is a public-private partnership. Federal, state, local agencies all working together to revitalize the iconic waterway that runs through this city. Acting EPA Administrator Bob Perciasepi saying that doing this to the Grand River will mean an economic boost for the area.
The prize we get when we do this, and I've seen this happen all over the country, which is one of the reasons why we're doing this, is that it also revitalizes the community. It creates energy, it creates synergy, and it builds an economy.
And we have live team coverage for you tonight. We will start with 24-hour News 8's Joe LaFergie, who's joining me now here down by the river. You were at today's press conference as well. You talked to all the players. This is a big project, a lot of money involved, but nobody was talking about so much money today.
Brian, you used a good word, and that's momentum. All of this today was crossing the T's, dotting the I's, getting all these folks that have to sign off on this project together so they're all on the same page. But as you said, there was no money. More on that in a second. You take a look at the river. You know, for years, the Grand River is, well, the city has basically turned their back on the river. It was used to power machinery. It was used to carry waste all the way out to Lake Michigan. And several years ago, that all started to change. Now, take a look at the convention center across the river. That and other project, for them, the river is their front yard. And this plan continues that effort.
Just want to make sure everybody's doing good.
These East Kentwood students are part of a salmon planting project. They're getting a first-hand, if not wet, lesson on the Grand River.
Bye, Robert. Have a good life.
Teacher Carl Warfield says taking down the dams would be a good step in further improving the waterway.
It really has to do with our Great Lakes watershed in terms of our water use and how water's flowing and getting back to the Great Lakes.
Under the plan, which now has at least the partial blessing of federal and state regulators, 5 dams from 4th Street to the S-curve would be removed or renovated. Natural structures once removed, like rocks, would return to the river. While supporters say improved flood control and a healthier Grand River are among the benefits, restoring the rapids could provide an economic boost.
People want to be by water. They want to walk by water. They want to eat by water. They want to live by water. They want to work by water.
Grants, many of them taxpayer funded, would likely pick up the majority of the $27 to $30 million price tag. But Hartwell expects to see some private funding from some of the same sources that have supported other major downtown projects.
I see this being, very much like the downtown market that we just opened last week. Like DeVos Place and Van Andel Arena.
Also watching the announcement were those who have questions. Steve Heinzelman is president of Grand Rapids Steelheaders and part of a group who supports the concept, but will be watching closely to make sure the final plan is something that satisfies everyone's concerns.
What are they going to do to the river and to change it? Are they going to increase fishing habitat and safe fish passage? Those are things that we want to make sure happens.
Now to the timeline, there is speculation on this, Brian, that it could be anywhere from as early as next spring to the summer of 2015.
Yep. All right. Sounds good. Thanks, Joe LaFergie, for that report.